Many people are battling constipation. One of the main causes of constipation is inflammation in the intestinal tract. But where? A common place is the ileocecal valve right here, the ileum. This ileocecal valve gets clogged up. Why? Because it gets inflamed. It gets inflamed because there's a lot of different bugs. And these bugs get into the ileocecal valve, work their way into the lining, and inflame the area. So as it's inflamed, food is trying to push through. When you're eating and the food won't go through, we get constipated and then we get backed up into the small intestinal tract. Eventually, that food does get pushed through and gets down in and passed there into the colon where the person can go to the bathroom. We're going to do another video on this pretty soon. A lot of people deal with constipation, sometimes mild constipation, sometimes severe constipation. And it all depends on what is going on inside your intestinal tract. Inflammation in a certain area of the colon or small intestinal tract will create the constipation. So let's take a look right here, okay? One common area that causes constipation and a lot of other problems is the ileum down here, the ileocecal valve right here. That's that valve that actually bridges your small intestinal tract to your colon. So when something goes wrong in this area right here, the stools will back up. So feces will back up into the small intestinal tract and start to build up. It builds up to the point where finally enough pressure is created from it that if you're a lucky one, it'll now push through and you'll be able to go to the bathroom because that stool and the contents of all that fecal matter will finally go into the colon and up, descending colon and on out, right? So the whole point here is what I'm trying to say is what causes this inflammation. So it's mysterious inflammation, really. A lot of people get surgeries, which is really sad. They get a part of their colon taken out. They get the ileum removed. They get their whole colon removed when there's too much inflammation going on way too long. So let's talk about some foods to avoid. Gluten is one of the foods to avoid, so you can actually minimize these symptoms of constipation. Dairy is another one right there. There's some butter. How's that butter look right there, right? Common household butter or butter that's in food, right? Cheese, that's another one. Dairy, and then you got gluten right there too, okay? What dairy and gluten does is it feeds something that isn't good inside of your gut. So we have all this bad bacteria inside of us. Streptococcus bacteria, right? E. coli bacteria, H. pylori bacteria, okay? We have all these different types of bacteria. Streptococcus, a really common one inside the intestinal tract. That one's a little bit more aggressive. It gets into the ileocecal valve and it goes into the lining, it proliferates, and it feeds off of all that butter and all that cheese and all that gluten. As it feeds off of it, it grows in numbers, and then the bacteria looks for a home. So it nests, and where it nests is the lining of the ileocecal valve, in the colon, in the small intestinal tract. It'll nest in there. So now we have a swelling going on. So we're starting to swell. So as the food is going down, blah, 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 all the way in there, and it gets locked up in that spot, pressure is being created because you have a narrowing, and that narrowing is stopping the food from pushing through. And that's how people get constipated. They'll take laxatives, over-the-counter laxatives or prescription laxatives to try to soften the stool to push it through that swollen area. So what I like to do, and what I often recommend to friends or anybody who has any kind of conditions like that, I say you got to stay away from the foods that feed the very pathogen, the bacteria that inflames the ileocecal valve, so that eventually that inflammation can start to calm down, so you don't have all that pressure build up and all the stools getting built up and bulked up so they don't push through. And this is just one main reason why people get constipated. There's other reasons why they get constipated, because they can have inflammation anywhere in the colon and small intestinal tract leading to problems. But this is a real common one, just so we all know. Coffee moves things because coffee stimulates your adrenals. Caffeine makes your adrenals dump epinephrine into your bloodstream. Epinephrine is fight or flight. and you have to poo while you're either getting killed or you're running from someone trying to kill you. See how it works? When you get scared, you shit your pants. There's a reason why that term exists. When you get scared out of your mind, you shit your pants. You pee your pants. The reason why you pee and poo your pants when you get scared to death is because that's an adrenaline reaction to empty you so you can have more ability to fight and run. Someone comes to attack you, you need to evacuate. Animals in the wild eliminate everything inside of them. If a wolf chases a deer, the deer will empty out its entire innards, basically. All the deer poop will go flying out of the deer as it's running. It's fight or flight. We have it too. When you drink caffeine, you told your adrenals, we're fight or flight. You're either going to get killed or be killed or run. Kill or be killed or whatever. Fight or flight, whatever. And so coffee, all that caffeine makes the adrenals go, oh my God, there's a problem. Oh, I got to go to the bathroom now. I got to do my bowel movement. Caffeine's a poison too. And poisons need to be eliminated. So it's a combination of that. If you have to eat fiber, that means something's wrong inside of you. The intestinal tract works on peristaltic action, you guys. That's how the intestinal tract works. Your brain sends messages via your vagus nerves. Two nerves stemming out of your brainstem that go down to your gut. Those vagus nerves tell your intestinal tract to twist and contort. Doesn't matter what's in you. It could be a loaf of bread, a bag of donuts. It's the peristaltic action that makes you go to bathroom. And that's why when someone doesn't have a health problem with their intestinal tract, they can poo out a loaf of bread, no problem, and poo out meat and bread. They could have meat, bread, and butter every day and poo it out. But what happens is when something goes wrong with the brain and the messages get crossed and they don't reach the intestinal tract properly, and then you end up with gastroparesis because you have a neurological problem, or you got inflammation in your intestinal tract and your colon. If you have inflammation in your intestinal tract and colon, something is wrong. But fiber is not why we're sick. It's not why we have a problem. It's not why there's an issue.